Hey guys, what's going on? Tua Cruz here, checking in with
Tường Des.
We're here with Tuan Shan in the countryside here in central Vietnam, northern central Vietnam, and we're actually in Tuan Shan's hometown.
Yes.
She hasn't been able to come to her hometown for a couple years now because of COVID, but we finally made it back. And for anyone new to the channel, we just moved here to Vietnam. My wife is originally from Vietnam. We've lived together in Japan and Thailand for the last few years, and we finally made our way over here. And in today's video, I want to talk about some of the most surprising things for me coming here to Vietnam. Maybe not so surprising for her, maybe a little surprising for her. We've lived in Japan for 7 years before here, so I think her perspective has changed a little bit. And let's go ahead and get started on today's ride.
Let's go.
So we've got some nice weather here. It's a little bit cool actually. Nice and windy. We're on the folding bikes today. We brought our folding bikes on the train here. The train was a rough ride. It was a 12-hour ride, which turned into 17 hours because the train broke down. We had to wait for them to repair it for 5 hours. So it was a rough journey getting here, but luckily we were able to bring the folding bikes no problem. And here's a quick look at Tuang's hometown. You can see we're pretty deep in the countryside here. There's not too much here, so she's a true Vietnamese countryside girl. So in today's ride, we're going to be doing a little loop here of Tuan Shan's hometown. One of the fun, or maybe not so fun things about being a foreigner here in Vietnam is you really stand out as a foreigner, especially in the countryside areas. Maybe not so much in the big cities, but here, actually, just when we were getting on the bikes, we were approached by two young girls who wanted to take their picture with me. So some people maybe like the attention, but the longer you're here, I'm sure it may get a little bit tiring. So I've actually been here to my wife's hometown a few times. I think I first came here about 4 years ago before we were getting married when I went to meet her parents to get approval for us to get married in Japan. And so one of the first things that really shocked me was just the number of like animals around, the livestock around, the ducks, the water buffalo and everything. You'll see that more in the nature parts of town. We're actually heading, this is I guess the center of town, the main street. And so things are a little bit busier here. You'll see more animals back there on that road that we were just on. So this is the main street where most people live. And so that was something that was really shocking. And especially just how close those animals are to like what's on your dinner plate. You really feel the reality of it. So I'm sorry for any vegetarians or for any vegans who may be watching right now, but this story is pretty funny. I wanted to share it again. So when I first got out of the taxi to get to my wife's house, there was a cute duck in front of the driveway. And I was like, oh, that's cute. You guys have a pet duck. I was so innocent and naive. And my wife just turned and smiled at me and she said, that's tonight's dinner. Do you remember, Tuan Shan? Yeah. The cute duck. And she just had this evil smile. Hello. Saying, that's the other great thing here. Just all the nice people waving at you and smiling. There's a lot of friendliness here in Vietnam, especially out here in the countryside.
Hello.
Hello. And this was another interesting thing that really surprised me when I first came here to Vietnam is just the number of churches. I've been living in Japan for a long time, and Japan's not a very religious country. And just seeing the number of churches here, especially in the countryside in Vietnam, we just checked from my wife's roof, or from the top floor of her house. We can see, we counted 15 churches.
Yes.
We can see directly from her house, and we're not in a very populated area, so that was just surprising to me. It's crazy because like the churches here are the tallest buildings around. There's a decent amount of like 2-story, 3-story countryside houses, so the churches just really stand out here. And yeah, they're built really nicely and just something I wasn't expecting to see out here in the Vietnamese countryside. So my first time here in Vietnam, we came here with Tuan Shan's family. We came here, I think, on Christmas Day.
Yes.
Yeah, we came on Christmas Day, so they were having a big celebration here, so we came to check that out. And this is the biggest thing that really surprised me here in Vietnam. You can see we've got a volleyball court here. There's a bunch of kids playing here right now, but here in the Vietnamese countryside, people are playing volleyball at all times of the day. in the morning, in the noontime, even at night. There's always groups of people in different communities just playing, especially people of all ages. So Tuung's brother played volleyball, her parents go out and play volleyball, and it's really fun. They just have these pickup games where everyone in the community just comes out and plays. I think it's usually at like certain times of the day where they do it. Hello. Hello.
I forgot cheese.
Tunchan doesn't remember her own hometown streets, and we're not even like a kilometer from her house.
Yes, I asked the man.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. That's so funny. Yeah, we're sort of off the main road a little bit right now. They've got these little alley roads. But yeah, lots of friendly people out. Oh, he's got some watermelon. That looks good. But yeah, I would say that's my biggest surprise here in Vietnam so far, is just how passionate people are about playing volleyball in the community here. It's about 3 p.m. right now, so I don't think it's a popular volleyball playing time, but hopefully, I'm sure we'll cycle by some people playing volleyball at some point. We've got another volleyball court right here. So yeah, as you can tell, it's very loud here. So that wasn't necessarily something that was surprising to me to come here. I knew Vietnam was going to be loud. Oh, hello. We got a big dog there. Speaking of dogs, I have to add this in the video. I don't have the video, but I have a picture. We saw, Tunchan knows what I'm about to show you guys. This is the most ridiculous thing I've seen here in Vietnam. This is a husky lion floor cleaning restaurant dog. So we went out to a barbecue restaurant with some of Tunchan's friends, her high school friends, the other day. And this dog was just in the shop, just cleaning the floor, having the best job in the world for a dog, and just the most ridiculous haircut I've ever seen on a dog. So yeah, it's amazing the things that you can see here in the countryside in Vietnam. So we're actually gonna turn off from the main road back there. That road, it's a little bit loud, it's a little bit busy, and that was another surprising thing, going back to the topic of sound. Like, I knew Vietnam was a loud place, but I wasn't really expecting that here out in the countryside as well. The countryside does have some nice side roads like this, which are a little bit quieter and a bit more peaceful, but I still find it a little hard to escape some of the loud sounds. For example, the beeping, especially with the big trucks and some of the motorbikes. There's also karaoke. You'll hear it late at night. You'll hear it early in the morning, and there's a lot of like home karaoke systems, so people just have super loud speakers blasting. Another funny thing out here is you'll see like wedding ceremonies. We were doing a bike ride the other day and we passed by like 3 different weddings, and they just have some of the loudest speaker systems you can imagine, just blasting music the whole day. And it's pretty entertaining. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on your perspective, we haven't found any today. But yeah, that car, it just beeped at us for no reason. Like, there's no traffic coming from the other direction, so we have this nice peaceful, like quiet area, which is just disrupted by that loud beep, which can startle you if it comes from out of nowhere. So my ears definitely are in pain at certain times. Okay, let's check with Tunchan. Was there anything else surprising for you coming back to your hometown, to Vietnam, after living in Japan for so long?
I saw a lot of cyclists.
Oh yeah, hello. A lot of cyclists?
Yes.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so there's people back there, and not just those people, everyone that we've been passing will say "tai tai tai," which basically is the short version for foreigner. When I first visited here, I guess I was like the first white foreigner, or one of the first white foreigners to visit this village. There we go, I get some nice dirt road action just for a short bit. The folding bikes are handling it like a champ. You got this. Last hill. Okay, here we are, back on a nice road. But going back to the last point that Chunchan made about her observations of changes here, and that is with the number of cyclists that increased here. So we're cycling at a not very popular time right now. It's about 3-4 p.m. Most people cycle here more later in the evenings or early in the mornings. But I want to set this up with a little bit of backstory. When I first came here about 4 years ago, I was desperate for a bicycle to ride. I went to every nearby place looking for a bike like my size. There weren't any bike shops, just some small bikes for kids. There weren't selling any bikes for adults. Eventually we found a car dealership quite a ways away that had some old like Chinese bikes that had been sitting there for years, I'm pretty sure. They were just covered in dust, and so we ended up getting 2 of those because we couldn't find anything else. And we actually made some videos about this way back then. You can check those out. And so we cycled with those bikes during our time here. And when we left the bikes in the home, like thinking her family could use them. And her mom and dad at the time ended up riding the bikes, and they really liked it. So they made that part of their daily routine. They'd go cycling early in the mornings together. And eventually her father convinced some of his friends to also get some bikes, and they started a cycling club in their village. So every day, all of them would meet up, go for a nice bike ride, and hang out and start drinking alcohol in the morning. And that was like their daily routine. And so since then, just cycling has blown up here. There's a lot more people on bikes, which has been great to see. I kind of wish we were riding a little bit later in the day so I could show you guys, but when we cycled here the other day, we passed by a bunch of cyclists. Not just people on like the city bikes like that, but people in full like workout gear. Like they're doing it for exercise. They're not doing it for like just their normal lifestyle kind of cycling. Even the normal lifestyle cycling, you don't see it that much because most people use the bikes, the electric bikes or the scooters. They're just so much more convenient and less work. But that was a huge transition. When we first came here, even just 4 years ago, there was no one out on bikes, no one really exercising. And now we've seen a few people running, a few people, and quite a lot of people on exercise bikes. Even when we arrived here, we arrived on the overnight train at about 4 a.m. We cycled from the train station to our home. That's the nice thing about traveling on folding bikes. We passed by a group of like 20 cyclists that were just riding together on a variety of different bikes, mountain bikes, road bikes, with their lights and everything. And that was really cool to see. Unfortunately, it is a little bit overcast right now. This area is really beautiful when the sun's out. You get some clear skies. Yeah, cute little duck farm here. Lots of surprises here in Vietnam. And we've still got a few more days here in Tuan Chan's hometown. She's enjoying spending some time with her family, meeting some friends she hasn't seen in a while. And yeah, that's gonna be it for today's video. We're gonna continue on with our ride. If you guys have any suggestions or ideas for new videos here in Vietnam, any questions you want us to answer in a future video, let us know down in the comments. We want to say a special thank you to all of our awesome supporters over on Patreon. Thanks to your guys' support, we're able to continue filming videos like this. And we'll see you next time here on Two Wheel Cruise.
Bye bye.
Getting some fresh sugarcane juice to end our ride.
Yeah.
Tuan Chan's favorite.
Perfect.